Okay, at this time, we'll go into the public portion. Anybody wishing to address the board may do so. Just state your name and address for the record when you come to the podium. And then, before we get into the regular scheduled agenda, we're going to modify the agenda and go into an executive session first.
Good afternoon. Last month, I addressed this assembly.
Name and address.
Sorry. Gary Bloom, and I'm at 24 Fairfield Avenue. Okay. So last month, I said I addressed this forum regarding the so-called First Amendment auditors, and I believe I submitted an executive order by the mayor of Schenectady, New York, to you, Mayor, already for your perusing. I was wondering if you have had a chance to look at it and taken any action on it. Yes, I mean, how about a shake? Yay, no?
Well, look, this is not a question and answer period. This is a public forum for you to say the things that you want to say and
Very well.
carry on.
Very well. A couple months ago, I predicted that the furniture movement is growing, and it has. There are virtually new furnitures on YouTube every week. Of course, their chosen targets are post offices, etc. And when you think they could not get any more drab, they turn on new things like stand out in front of the FBI office and photograph all the cars and people coming in and out. Of course, they're often confronted. They refuse to ID themselves, often get arrested. When you think you couldn't do better than that, a newbie auditor actually went down to the Pentex plant in Texas. Well, I'm assuming you are not familiar with the Pentex plant. It is a major defense contractor. Amongst their products, they manufacture, maintain, and stockpile America's nuclear arsenal. It covers 14,000 acres. And there are signs everywhere, no trespassing, and a really ominous one saying that use of lethal force is authorized. Nonetheless, this auditor walks upon the plant or attempts to get within a quarter of a mile of the front gate before he's confronted. He gets no further, but the gist of it, after being questioned by the sheriff, he's there to get this, take pictures of the bunker. Anyway, he left. The First Amendment auditors are by and large top-haters and baiters. They go out of the way to confront them. They verbally abuse them. And what kills me is they antagonize them by going up to their vehicles with their little cell phone cameras, peering into the vehicles, looking at the VIN numbers, just to provoke a reaction. Even when they go onto police property, primarily the parking lots. When they see signs posted like "Do not enter," "Authorized vehicles only," they'll come back with, "Well, I'm not a vehicle, and this is public property, so I can be here," etc. They talk in circles. Okay, one in particular I wish to point out. I mentioned him, I believe it was last month. Sean Paul Reyes is his name, AKA Long Island Audit. A couple of years ago, he was up at the Bradley International Airport and was detained because, well, he was freaking people out, standing there in the corner, filming everybody coming in and out. When confronted by a state policeman, of course, he refused to ID himself, stated that he had no identification on him, although he claimed to be an independent journalist gathering content for a story. After they did obtain sufficient information to ID him, he became indignant and then went from Bradley International Airport to the state police station and had a confrontation there. You can look it up if you like. Go to YouTube, Auditor Roll, LIA, Long Island Audit in handcuffs. And the follow-up video of that is LIA audit removed from police building. He's been very, very busy. About 2 weeks ago, he was about a week ago, he was Long Island Audit was banned from the Baltimore County Courthouse for 1 year for inciting the employees. From there, he went to Lawrence, Kansas to do his training. His modus operandi is to film on and in property that isn't his. He refuses to stop filming, refuses to leave, intentionally inflicts distress upon his victims for his filming until they react, and then posts this on his YouTube channel for his 250,000 subscribers. That's how he earns a living. Unfortunately, there's nothing a small town like us here can do. It needs to be addressed on the state, and I believe federal level. We need to have penalties for this, if they exist, increased. Like I said, this is a growing movement, and it's being filled largely, unfortunately, by young millennials. They'd rather do this than get a job.
Oh boy, Mr. Bloom, Joe Biden's not gonna like that comment.
Well, okay. However, if you look at this all happening online, you will see they are. These are like youngsters. All right. Okay. When they interact with authority figures, who, by the way, are all tyrants. And as we know, tyrants are cruel, oppressive rulers, but they do not make the distinction between real tyrants and police officers. They talk in circles when engaged, they protract, they drag out the conversation as long as possible to gain a maximum amount of content for the stories. And they always ask for a supervisor. And then when the supervisor informs them that originally the minor issue I was called here for was in fact settled by the officer originally, they get all butthurt. And they tell their disciples to call flood the PD, which they often do. Rise up police resources. Oh, anyway. Not only has Schenectady, New York taken some action, but the Office of the Attorney General of Alabama has done something similar. And I would like to submit this to the panel for your viewing.
Okay, give it to the clerk, please.
I do urge you to take a true interest in this. Like I said, it's only growing. It needs to be addressed. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else wishing to address the board? Hearing none of this, we'll close the public portion and move on to the regularly scheduled agenda. I'll entertain a motion at this point in time to modify the agenda to take up executive session first, which is item number 11.
So moved.
Second. Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. So this time we'll go into executive session. I don't anticipate being long, but everyone will have to leave.